Now in 4 News Now at 6, TikTok's parent company could soon be forced to sell part of the company or be banned from app stores. Why one influencer says this plan is ridiculous.
It's starting to warm up across the inland Northwest. I'll show you when we'll be back in the 60s in your first alert forecast.
And Spokane police say they don't have a solution to the city's drug crisis. We ride along with officers to Fentanyl Alley to show you what they face each day and how they're trying to help people who want to get clean. You're watching 4 News Now at 6.
I've got an amazing community on there. It would really suck to lose that all. Things that we've been working on for years.
TikTokers, like the one you just heard from, are sounding off as the United States inches closer to potentially banning the app. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Derek Dice. The House passed a bill forcing TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, to sell or have it be banned here in the U.S. Our Jordan Smith joins us now in studio with what prompted this legislation and the pushback it's garnering.
Yeah, well, lawmakers say that there are major security concerns with TikTok's parent company, citing ByteDance's ties to the Chinese government. But the idea of banning an app used by more than half of the country is certainly raising eyebrows.
The goal of this bill is to protect the data of 177 million American users from ultimately being accessed by the Chinese Communist Party.
Today, lawmakers moved closer towards shutting down one of the world's most popular apps. TikTok, which has been downloaded by more than half of America, is facing pressure to sell. Congress says the Chinese-based app could be sharing Americans' data with the communist regime.
We also know that the Chinese Communist Party collects a lot of data on its own citizens and uses it to surveil and control.
But some are staunchly against this.
I don't know. I think it's ridiculous.
Harry Jousley is one of them. The social media influencer and Dancing with the Stars contestant is hardly concerned with what data might be collected about him.
I love TikTok. It's a way I make money. It's my livelihood. It's a way to connect with people. I'm fully against it. I love TikTok, and I hope it stays forever.
But this bill has demonstrated strong bipartisan support. And if it passes the Senate, President Biden has already said he'll sign it into law. Representative McMorris Rodgers says she's also working on a bill that would deal specifically with data mining by social media companies. Now, this law would give ByteDance 6 months to sell the company before a ban is placed in the U.S. We'll keep you up to date with any new developments right here and on KXLY.com. In studio, Jordan Smith, 4 News Now.
Jordan, thank you. Well, the woman accused of hitting and killing someone early this morning on Highway 2 appeared in court just a few hours ago. Investigators say Marissa Jolly is facing a charge of vehicular homicide. Detectives say she hit and killed a woman who was crossing the highway near the Longhorn Barbecue near Airway Heights. That stretch of the highway was shut down during the morning commute for several hours as Spokane police investigated.
A woman who was either crossing the highway or walking in the road and was struck by a vehicle. That woman was then struck by a second vehicle. Both of those vehicles left. We eventually were able to locate the drivers of each of those cars.
According to court documents, Jolly pulled over and called 911 shortly after the collision. Investigators believe she may have been impaired at the time of that collision. The second driver involved, who did not stop, was arrested later and is facing hit-and-run charges. The woman who was killed has not been identified. A loophole in Washington's new hate crime law, is set to be closed this summer. Today, Governor Inslee signed a bill into law that updates the current law to include destruction and vandalism targeting public property. Previously, the hate crime law only applied to private property. Last summer, Spokane's Pride Crosswalk was vandalized, leading State Senator Andy Billig of Spokane to introduce the bill. He released a statement saying this legislation strengthens our hate crime laws by adding our shared public spaces and symbols of inclusion while sending a strong message of unity against these heinous attacks. The new law goes into effect this summer. It's been exactly 4 years since COVID-19 was declared a national health emergency. Washington was one of the first states to restrict large gatherings and shut down schools. 4 days after that, all indoor dining, bars, and recreational facilities were closed. These restrictions were only supposed to last a few weeks, but as we all know, it was just the beginning of the pandemic. Thanks to people social distancing and getting vaccinated against COVID-19, the Biden administration was finally able to end the public health emergency on May 11th of last year. All right, you will soon be able to leave those thicker coats at home because we have a warming trend on the way, Chris.
Yes, a little bit warmer tomorrow, but that temperature is going to continue to climb. We have some gorgeous weather ahead. First, let's take a look at the evening in progress. It got fairly overcast late this afternoon and this evening, but the sunshine is coming through. Our sunset still about 50 minutes away. Love this daylight saving time. Here are 4 things to know about your weather. Some patchy morning fog, then we'll be mostly sunny on Thursday. Our warming trend kicks off tomorrow and we'll be in the mid-60s by the weekend in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, and that will continue. Here's a look at high temperatures tomorrow around the region. 51 in Spokane, 50 in Coeur d'Alene. We'll be up in the mid-40s in Sandpoint and 50 in Bonners Ferry, mid-50s for Moses Lake, Grand Coulee, as well as Ritzville. Again, may see a little bit of patchy fog in the morning, and we'll be down in the 20s to start the day, and then we are heading up into the 50s with that blue skies and sunshine. I'll tell you about the warming trend, how warm it is going to get, and I do see an end in sight. I'll explain what that means for your week next week in just a few minutes.
Well, around the Northwest, the security footage from a Boeing repair facility where a door plug was reinstalled before it flew off during an Alaska Airlines flight back in January has been overwritten. That's according to the National Transportation Safety Board, with investigators saying Boeing is responsible. The NTSB asked for this footage to better understand what went wrong. But it's not just the security footage. In a letter to Washington Senator Maria Cantwell, Boeing said it still doesn't know who worked on the plane, nor do they have the records involved in the removal and reinstallation of the door plug. NTSB officials said they are not looking to speak with employees for punitive purposes. It's to help them make safety recommendations so this does not happen again. For over a year now, 2nd and Division, along with other areas of downtown Spokane, have become hotspots for open drug use. New tools like the enforcement of a drug use ordinance resulted in hundreds of arrests, but police say they're still overwhelmed. Bronte Saratsky explains why officers say they can only do so much.
Spending time with a downtown officer, we saw that they do more to address the city's drug crisis than just enforce the city's ordinance. But they also say that they don't have a clear way out of this.
When I arrested you, when I searched you, I saw you had a bunch of burnt fentanyl, burnt foil, right?
This downtown police officer sees people openly using drugs every day. And while we were out today, even recognized one of the people doing it.
Just curious, man. So like you got released today. I saw you.
I know.
And here you are in Fentanyl Alley. Why? Tell me why. Make sense to me, you know? Why do you immediately go back to that? I'm trying to understand it.
I don't have no family.
You don't have any family?
I just got this home. You know how it is, Jones.
Spokane police officers, along with paramedics, elected officials, and street outreach coordinators, are all trying to figure out how to help people addicted to opioids like fentanyl. Police say they don't see an end in sight.
Since I don't see a solution at this point.
While police can't book people for openly using drugs, they can for possessing them. The problem with that, the Spokane County Jail is almost always full.
We can only have them in custody with us in the back of a police car for so long.
Officers then must weigh if they want to wait to book that person or spend their time on other investigations. While riding along with police, we came across a woman wanting to take Suboxone to get clean. The officer we were with drove her there himself. While it's a resource, police say there's much more that needs to be done.
A level of frustration now because nobody is really sure what that solution would be.
Reporting in Spokane, Bronte Saratsky, 4 News Now.
Well, to help deal with the opioid crisis, the Biden administration is launching a new initiative to increase the access to Narcan. The initiative encourages organizations and businesses to train employees on how to use the drug, keep it in first aid and emergency kits, and distribute it to employees and customers. Studies have shown that people can easily administer it in its nasal spray form without medical expertise and minimal training. Well, still ahead, why Russia says it is prepared to use nuclear weapons against Ukraine. And police are searching for the man who broke into a local children's theater. We have the latest on the investigation and give you a look at some of the damage left behind.
Connect with 4 News Now on KXLY+.
Slam dunk a deal on 170 new Kias at George G. Kia. Classic roast beef and crispy fish? Just 2 for $6? If Arby's wasn't already at Arby's, it'd be on its way to Arby's right now. Arby's, we have the meat.
I'm worried about the draft. We got some bad zone control, and I'm concerned we're not bringing the heat. Look at this, crossover's off. We've got a weak dribble. We need a solid block, just not enough pressure. What do you think?
I think I'm doing just fine.
What?
Bill's Heating and AC is offering financing as low as 0% for 5 years. Call today.
For all your heating and cooling needs, leave it to the real professionals at Bill's.
Pentatonics. One special night with a Grammy-winning a cappella vocal group. September 11th at BECU Live at Northern Quest. Pentatonics. Tickets on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at northernquest.com. Don't miss Pentatonics Live. Produced by Live Nation.
Hi, I'm Robert Sacre. You may know me from my basketball career. But what you don't know is I'm a father of 4, and life can get pretty chaotic. So that's why I'm getting a vasectomy at North Idaho Urology, so I can finally sit back and enjoy the madness.
Vasectomy season is back. Scheduled today in North Idaho Urology.
Arby's brown sugar bacon. You always know just what to say. Arby's, we have the meat.
Next ET, Ricky Martin, Carol Burnett.
Shake me another martini, and then let's play doctor.
Their wild new TV collab.
It was wonderful and embarrassing.
Next ET.
Watch 4 News Now at 6 and Entertainment Tonight at 7:30.
Okay, which Taylor Swift songs that weren't in the original film will now be included in the Eras Tour, Taylor's version on Disney+? Well, all this week, we're going to reveal a new song every day, only on GMA. Thanks, Taylor.
Well, welcome back. This is new security camera footage of a man stealing several items from the Spokane Children's Theater Tuesday morning at around 1:30 a.m. The theater is a nonprofit that provides kids in the community with onstage opportunities, theater classes, theatrical entertainment, and more. Our Marissa Rio shares the details and the extent of the damage done.
The man broke into the theater by jumping through the dressing room window. Here you can see him upstairs with laptops in his hand. He also stole personal items from the kids' cubbies and all the money from the theater's donation box. As a nonprofit, the executive director here says this is all really devastating.
At the end of the year, you're lucky if you made a few dollars here and there. And so for all of the money we were able to raise for these already, to have that taken away, there's no way for us to just magically purchase it instantly as a nonprofit.
The man also stole multiple props needed for their show, closing this coming up weekend. Mics and receivers were also stolen. Luckily, volunteers stepped up, but damage to cameras that show what's going on stage will cause some difficulties.
He also used this tool as a weapon to break through 3 layers of drywall, which is that hole you see being patched right now behind me. They say he was able to get into the neighbor's building.
And this is what that hole looks like on the other side. The neighbor who runs an online business here says the man crawled through the hole and stole items from him as well. Here is a photo his security camera captured of the thief.
So our biggest concern is that now they know what we have. And so it's kind of like a honeypot. They know what's here and they're going to be tempted to come back and try it. Or they'll tell somebody else what's in here and they'll come back and try it.
The executive director of the theater says they work really hard to make families and kids feel safe, so this hurts.
To have someone come into your home in a place you feel safe and have no regard for what they destroy or what they rifle through. They went through our cast's personal belongings as well and took some of that. You can't buy that safety.
For more information on ways you can help the theater recover, visit our website at KXLY.com. Reporting in Spokane, Marissa Rio, 4 News Now.
And if you have information regarding the man in the video or the crime, you're asked to call Crime Check at 509-456-2233.
High temperature today, 48 degrees, exactly average after a cool start at 29. Our sunset coming up at 6:54. We are warming up in the 7-day forecast. I'll let you know how warm it's going to get after the break.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Craig Swap and Associates.
So what do you think about these?
We're going to take everything.
From design and products to removal and installation, Rebath is with you through every step of your remodel. Call us or visit rebath.com and save $1,500 off your complete bathroom remodel.
This March, we're celebrating our 29th anniversary at the Kootenai Casino. We're having a blowout anniversary celebration, and you are invited. With March deals on rooms, dining, and the spa, along with huge cash and bonus play prizes all month long. Stay at the Kootenai Falls Lodge midweek, starting at just $69, or upgrade to a Riverview room for $89. Come on in for the win. Book your getaway today. Call 888-YOU-ARE-LUCKY or visit KootenaiRiverInn.com.
Home. It's both a place and a feeling. At yours, you strive to make new memories, create traditions, share stories, find the fun, embrace the surprises, and celebrate moments big and small. Memories are made at home, in every room, in every moment. Make your house feel like home at the Tin Roof.
Second Harvest believes no child should go hungry. Every week, volunteers pack meals for over 10,000 children through the Bite to Go program.
There are more kids than you may think who need food support over the weekend. Bite to Go program is a network of businesses, faith organizations, and civic organizations that have banded together to help fight child hunger. We're here to provide nutritional support so kids can show up ready to learn on Monday mornings.
Numerica Credit Union is proud to donate $1,000 to Second Harvest Bite to Go program. This is how Numerica cares for kids.
For a limited time, Pape Machinery is blowing out select model year 2023 inventory at dealer cost. Pick up a brand new John Deere compact tractor for a fraction of the original price. Stop by Pape Machinery Ag and Turf today to get started.
So what do you think about these?
We're going to take everything.
From design and products to removal and installation, Rebath is with you through every step of your remodel. Call us or visit rebath.com and save $1,500 off your complete bathroom remodel.
Well, take a look at this video of a 17-year-old from North Idaho crashing into a chairlift. Wow. At a resort in Canada. Thankfully, he was not seriously injured.
I definitely felt very beat up, mild concussion. I was quite sore.
He says he was trying to land a flat spin 360 and he never intended to hit that chairlift. I had a whole different picture in my mind when I read that. So I thought he was like the pillar, not the actual chair.
You know, I saw that video about 1,000 times on social media last week, and I had no idea the kid was from Idaho.
Pretty well, and lucky he wasn't more seriously hurt.
Really? Well, you know, at that age, you kind of bounce and get right back up. We'd be in traction forever.
Exactly.
Well, you know, they got a little bit of fresh snow in North Idaho last night. I'm going to show you right now, but this is the last of the snow we're going to see for a little bit. Now, this is the scene right now in Sandpoint. Looks like a nice spring evening with some clearing in the sunset, but this was the scene this morning around, well, it's 5:49 Mountain Time, so 4:49 Sandpoint time. Got a little bit of light snow to start the day, even sticking on the roads, and there was even more in the mountains. There's going to be plenty of snow for skiers to enjoy some bluebird days over the next little bit. Here's a look at our satellite and radar. I'm starting this out around 11 o'clock, and you can see the last of this very weak system sinking off to the south earlier this afternoon. That was coming down in a northerly flow, but with those clouds and that snowy start, had a little bit of snow in Coeur d'Alene as well, some flurries in Liberty Lake and Post Falls. But look at the difference in temperature from North Idaho and into the Columbia Basin. 57 in Moses Lake, 58 today in Omak, and we were just barely into the 40s in Coeur d'Alene, Sandpoint, and St. Mary's. Only 29 degrees for a high today at Lookout Pass. We're going to warm up across the entire region starting tomorrow. Here is why. We are right now on the very eastern edge of a ridge of high pressure. That puts us in a northerly flow. So our temperatures, despite the sunshine in Spokane today, we're still just about average and below average in North Idaho. But this ridge is going to assert itself as we get into Thursday, Friday, and a spectacular St. Patrick's Day weekend with sunny skies and temperatures in the mid-60s. That is going to be great. Now, anytime we talk about unseasonably warm weather in the spring, there is half the people going yay, and then there's some people bristling at the thought of losing our snowpack and warming up too much. But there's good news there too. Here is our average high, this black line right here, and we're going to be above average and then well above average for the weekend and into early next week. And then it starts to drop a little bit on Wednesday, and that trend will continue. Here is our March 21st through 27th, the 8 to 14-day forecast. We're just in the light blue, and not all of the region is, but a trend toward below average temperatures and above average precipitation. So we're still building our snowpack pretty much through the end of March into early April. Looks like we could still get some more snow in the mountains and water the wheat fields. And in the meantime, enjoy this sunny, warm weather heading up into the mid-60s for St. Patrick's Day. Spring officially starts on Tuesday with a high of 65 and sunshine, and then we start bringing back the chance of some showers and cooler weather starting the middle of next week. Derek.
All right, loving the look of that weekend. Still ahead, car insurance rates are on the rise. Coming up, what experts say is causing premiums to go up. Next on 4 News Now at 6.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Some injury lawyers you see on TV aren't even from here. They could be in Texas, California,
or even worse, Florida.
Local representation matters.
Good luck getting attention from 1,000 miles away.
Call the advocates.
We're here for you, not way over there for you.
Start living your life to the fullest by living simply in a tiny home from Portable Cedar Cabins. Less is truly more with all the amenities and comforts of a traditional home with a much smaller footprint. Each home is custom built and ready for you to move in and start enjoying the little things in life, including financial freedom. Homes from Portable Cedar Cabins are about half the price of the competition and about a quarter of the cost of a traditional home. Contact Portable Cedar Cabins today. Your worry-free tiny home is waiting for you just north of Spirit Lake, Idaho on Highway 41.
Did you know that Spokane Hyperbaric Center uses oxygen to reduce pain, inflammation, and swelling?
I didn't know that.
Did you know that hyperbaric oxygen therapy promotes new blood vessel growth, fights infection, and releases more stem cells from your bone marrow?
I didn't know that.
Would you like to know if Spokane Hyperbaric Center is the right choice for you? Go to hyperbarichope.com to find out.
Spokane Hyperbaric Center gave us hope. And now you know.
Due to some frozen pipes, we're currently making some changes to the showroom.
We know that shopping in a construction zone is no fun. And to thank you for sticking with us, we're throwing a construction sale.
Pardon our dust while you shop our amazing selection of La-Z-Boy recliners and living room sets, all at guaranteed lowest prices.
Looking for a new dining set? We have 3, 5, and 7-piece sets that are all on sale.
Like most construction jobs, we don't know how long this sale will last.
So come in now during Kerner Furniture's construction sale. Nice store, low prices.
Always keeping veggies at their peak. Like a Bosch. Freshness lasts for weeks and weeks and weeks. Like a Bosch. Even little baby greens. Like a Bosch. Tastes fresh and remains supreme. Like a Bosch. Super fridge, keeping food fresh. Like a Bosch. Eating more so you'll be throwing out less. Like a Bosch. Stay fresh like a Bosch. With America's most trusted refrigerators from Bosch.
Fred's Appliance. We sell appliances. Only appliances.
You know what I've learned from playing soccer? Play as a team, outwit your opponent, and never give up.
You know what I've learned from being a lawyer? Play as a team, outwit your opponent, never give up.
No wonder we work so well together.
Yeah.
4 News Now is brought to you by Gold Seal Plumbing.
Around the nation now, the prosecution and defense gave their closing arguments in the manslaughter trial of James Crumbley, the father of the teenager who shot and killed 4 students at his Michigan high school in 2021. His wife, Jennifer Crumbley, was found guilty on the same charges just last month. CNN's Ivan Rodriguez breaks down the latest from the courtroom.
This case is not about what happened inside of Oxford High School.
During closing arguments, James Crumbley's attorney pleaded ignorance on her client's behalf, saying he did not know his son had gained access to the gun and didn't believe there was an imminent threat of danger.
If the prosecution had evidence that James knew that his son was accessing firearms without his permission, the prosecution would have shown you that. But you didn't see it.
The prosecution arguing Crumbley was not only irresponsible, but acted with gross negligence, saying it's his fault the weapon wasn't secured properly and that he ignored warning signs regarding his son's mental health.
This case is not about holding James Crumbley responsible for what his son did. It's about his legal duty and his failure to perform it, or to perform it in a negligent way.
With the jury out of the room, James Crumbley, unlike his wife Jennifer in her case, decided not to testify.
It is my decision to remain silent.
A key difference between both trials is the prosecution's focus on Crumbley's decision to buy the gun for his son and how it was stored.
You hear him say the gun was hidden. You hear him say that there was some doodling on a paper, that he was a perfect kid. But here's what he never says. He never says, I don't know how we got it.
Jennifer Crumbley's case was the first time a parent of a school shooter was held directly responsible for the killings. A jury now faces another historic decision. I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
If you've seen your car insurance rates skyrocket recently, you're not alone. They're up an average of 21%. That's the highest rate jump since 1976. So why is it happening? For one, the cost to repair a car is up 6.7% for the year. The number of traffic deaths in the U.S. is also rising, along with riskier driving behaviors like speeding and texting behind the wheel. Insurers logged losses on 27% of collision claims in 2022, which is 3 points higher than in 2021. Around the world tonight, Russia says it's ready to use nuclear weapons if its independence is threatened ahead of its presidential election. Ukraine recently launched 60 drones into Russia in the biggest single attack of its kind since the war began. Russia saying it shot down 58 of them. Ukraine says it's trying to disrupt Russia's fuel supplies to the front line and its energy exports. All of this ahead of Russia's presidential election this weekend. Since Vladimir Putin changed the constitution, he can technically remain in power until 2036. The result is fairly certain, especially since major opposition figures are either in prison, exile, or dead. Well, the owner of a pizza restaurant in San Angelo, Texas, says he's counting his blessings following an explosion over the weekend. Take a look at this video. He was lighting the pilot of a pizza oven when it caught fire right there. Fernando Fuentes says the flames were so intense, he thought he was on fire.
And I watched that video, and it's terrifying. I mean, like I said, I thought there was more to it than what should have happened, and because I'm just counting my blessings, and an angel was with me.
The cause of the explosion is now believed to be a gas bubble that can't be seen, heard, or smelled. Just days after this explosion, he's back at work, though, embracing the community he knows and loves. Wow. Well, a group of physicians and NBA legend John Stockton are suing the state of Washington. Hear from one of the doctors involved coming up.
Listen up, pickleball players. There will be a new indoor pickleball facility coming to Spokane Valley. I'll tell you where and when you can use this court.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
From Lincoln Center Theater that brought you The King and I and South Pacific comes a sumptuous new revival of the most perfect musical of all time, My Fair Lady. The New York Times calls it thrilling, glorious, and better than it ever was. Bartlett Shear's glowing production is enthralling. Don't miss the smashing, jubilant Lincoln Center Theater production of My Fair Lady.
April 2nd through 7th at First Interstate Center for the Arts. Tickets on sale now at BroadwaySpokane.com.
When I was told I had a brain tumor, my life disappeared in a moment. I feared for my future, but even more, I feared for the ones I love. How would they move on without me? But when my doctor told me about the Gamma Knife of Spokane, everything changed. I can get my brain tumor treated in just one day and continue living the life I love. Because of Gamma Knife, I have hope.
What's the score again?
It's hippopotama to huh. So, one more letter in Anton rides shotgun.
Let's be real. Do we even know how to spell hippopotamus?
Hold on.
H-I-P-P-O. Yeah, thanks, Professor. Hey, chill out, man. I'm getting a ruling here.
Play daily to win a brand new Mercedes-Benz, only at Northern Quest.
Introducing permanent year-round outdoor lighting. Heating, cooling, and electric.
The teen who's renouncing her father for what he did to her mom. Next, Inside Edition.
My love for my dad died that day. You know, he took my mom.
The shocking video. All because he claims his wife was having an affair with another man.
I definitely lost both my parents that day.
Then, a pet pigeon?
Come on.
The Pigeon Girl. Watch the next Inside Edition.
Watch 4 News Now at 6 and Inside Edition at 7. Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now at 6:30.
In a story we first broke on Monday, NBA Hall of Famer John Stockton is now suing the state of Washington. Today, we spoke with a doctor who's being represented in this case. Our Hunter Bertram joins us now in studio with what he's learned.
Yeah, on Tuesday, I told you the true meaning of what this lawsuit is about. The main lawyer saying it goes beyond a person's COVID belief and falls in the rights of the First Amendment. I spoke with the doctor today on the case who says he's fighting for democracy.
Tell everybody it's for my children and grandchildren, and now I've got great-grandchildren. And if we don't stand up, who will?
That was Dr. Richard Eggleston, a retired ophthalmologist and veteran of our armed forces. Currently, he is being investigated under charges of unprofessional conduct by the Washington Medical Commission. This came after community backlash for comments he wrote in an opinion piece in the Lewiston Tribune. In his comments, he questioned the existence of COVID-19 and the accuracy of the COVID-19 death count. He also promoted ivermectin, a drug that's been disproved by the FDA for being effective in treating COVID-19.
Freedom is not free. It has to be fought for every generation so that it can be passed to the next generation so they can do the same.
During our conversation, Dr. Eggleston told me he expected his comments would get him in hot water.
Actually expected that something would come up because I wasn't following the orthodoxy line. And so I said, well, if it comes, it comes, and I'm not going to shy from it.
Dr. Eggleston also said he still has his medical license, but is appealing the charges brought against him, furthering that in both of these lawsuits, he's looking to regain his rights.
Do you believe that, your rights have been violated as a United States citizen?
Well, absolutely. And your rights have been violated if you wanted to get some true information or at least alternative information. And everybody who has been denied that right has been affected by it.
Lawyer Todd Richardson told me the Washington Attorney General received the lawsuit today. They now have 20 days to respond. Live in studio, Hunter Bertram, 4 News Now.
All right, Hunter, thank you. Well, 2 of the 3 Spokane County golf courses are set to open later this week. Both the Liberty Lake and Meadowood golf courses will open on Friday. The Latah Creek golf course will open for the season on March 30th. And if you can't wait to hit the links, the Creek at Quashan golf course is now open as of today. So, Chris, when are we scheduling our tea time?
Tomorrow? Yeah, let's go. Why not?
Going to have great weather for it.
Yes, we have our pick of days coming up. Some gorgeous weather in the forecast. Let's start with a view of downtown Spokane right now. These sunsets, I just love them, especially when they happen at 6:56. We still have some time left on this beautiful day, and I hope wherever you are enjoying a beautiful evening looking to the west. Here are 4 things to know about your weather. The patchy morning fog possibility, and temperatures will be down below freezing, so we could still run into some slick spots on the roadways early tomorrow morning. Mostly sunny skies otherwise. For Thursday, our warming trend kicks off tomorrow. We'll be a little bit above average, but then we're heading into the 60s for the weekend and for the first part of next week. Now, here's a look at our current temperatures across the region, and we are quite a bit cooler through North Idaho, where we had a little bit of snow today and held on to the clouds a lot longer than the rest of the region. Quite a difference between Sandpoint at only 37 degrees and Moses Lake at 55. We're 47 in Spokane, splitting the difference. It's 40 right now in Coeur d'Alene. With the clear skies, we will be cooling down into the 20s and lower 30s, below freezing in most locations. Blue skies and sunshine tomorrow, a high of 51. 48 is our average high, and it does get even warmer from there. I'll be back with your 7-day forecast. Plus, it is Wildlife Wednesday, and I have some great photos to share with you.
Another facility to enjoy the country's fastest growing sport is coming to Spokane Valley. Power Pickleball Club is bringing new indoor and outdoor pickleball courts to North Sullivan Road. The goal is to create a bigger space for people to enjoy pickleball year-round. Peter Choi explains where and when you can start to show off your pickleball skills.
It's a sport that will get you hooked quickly. Once you're playing on the court,
oh my gosh, it's almost too good.
You will know what this pickleball player is talking about.
You're thinking about pickleball when you're not playing it. You're watching, how-to video, different videos, and I gotta kind of take a break every once in a while,
Well, folks, there will be more courts you can play pickleball at. We're talking new courts at a 52,000 square foot facility. An empty space where Office Desk used to be.
Previously, before we came in, this was an e-commerce company.
Is now turning into a new indoor pickleball spot.
We'll have, cushion courts. Each court will be fenced off.
11 indoor and 5 outdoor pickleball courts will be available, plus private courts for special events.
A lot of it comes back to the weather here. There's 6 months of pretty tough weather for outdoor pickleball play. And so to have a place where they can play their sport all year round.
Local players are looking forward to seeing it because they say the Spokane area needs more pickleball courts.
To have a place that kind of will bring those two together is going to be great. We can have everyone from 2.0 to 6.0 levels, and
construction will be finished by next summer. The grand opening is expected to be in August. In Spokane Valley, Peter Choi, 4 News Now.
All right, here is a live look at the Spokane Veterans Memorial Arena, where thousands of basketball fans and players will be flocking to the Lilac City for the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament coming up later this month. But it's not just college hoops fans who will be filling the North Bank area over the next few weeks. The Spokane Velocity soccer team will be playing its first ever home game at One Spokane Stadium this Saturday against the Richmond Kickers. And the podium will be hosting a whole bunch of different sporting events, including track and field, volleyball, and even jiu-jitsu. Our Allison Martinez will be breaking down what you need to know in order to attend any of these events tomorrow on Good Morning Northwest, starting at 5 o'clock. All right, still ahead, Fairchild Air Force Base called in a special flight crew to celebrate Women's History Month. The lesson one of the airmen learned from the flight next on 4 News Now.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by R&R RV.
Going on right now for a limited time. Get 1.9% financing for 72 months on select F-150s. Only at Wendell Ford. Drive for generations.
Slash presents Serpent Festival, a celebration of the blues. Saturday, July 6th, BECU Live at Northern Quest, starring Slash, Warren Haynes, Samantha Fish, and Eric Gales. Don't miss an all-star night of blues for one night only. Serpent Festival, Saturday, July 6th, BECU Live at Northern Quest. Tickets on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at northernquest.com. Serpent Festival, produced by Live Nation.
Tonight, the race to get desperately needed aid into Gaza, plus the showdown on the Hill over the vote to ban TikTok. More Americans turn to World News Tonight with David Muir, the most watched newscast on television.
Culligan, the water wizard of Oz.
It's here. It's now. The Grand National RV Show at R&R RV North Spokane, March 14th through the 23rd. Shop over 140 RVs inside the West Coast's largest indoor showroom. Motorhomes, camper vans, fifth wheels, and trailers. The time to buy is now. The Grand National RV Show, March 14th through the 23rd, indoors at R&R RV North Spokane. Special show pricing, giveaways, and food vendors on site. Visit rnrrv.com.
Going on right now for a limited time. Get 1.9% financing for 72 months on select F-150s. Only at Wendell Ford. Drive for generations.
Welcome back. It is Women's History Month, and Fairchild Air Force Base called on a special flight crew to help celebrate the hard work and determination of women in the U.S. Air Force. Our Sydney Charles has the story.
A KC-135 refueling tanker from Fairchild Air Force Base is a common sight in the skies above Spokane. But one flight this month had a special meaning behind its mission. An all-female flight crew took off with the mission to refuel a C-17 transport jet to celebrate Women's History Month and International Women's Day. Denise Gallant was one of the pilots that helped this plane soar through the skies.
It's pretty awesome to be able to fly with all those women. Most of my flights, I'm the only female on my flight, so it was just really awesome to be able to get with this amazing group of women and get the mission done.
Brooke Belmonte Griffin was the tanker's boom operator. She says having an all-women flight and maintenance crew to help put the plane in the sky safely doesn't happen often.
It's rare to fly with females, especially an entire female air crew as well as maintenance. Like, that was unheard of here at Fairchild.
The passengers also played a role in making this flight exceptional. Each woman on board was chosen by the leadership at Fairchild for their overall excellence.
We actually reached out to every single commander on the base just to get a nomination from their unit of like a woman that was just deserving of being recognized on this flight. So to see all of them and put faces to the names that I got was awesome.
One of those special women was Taylor Riesenberg.
I was about to leave for basic training and I couldn't because I had broken my leg. So then I wasn't able to walk for 2 months. I wasn't able to run for 10, and it was a battle to fight back to come back from that.
She says this experience is something she'll never forget.
It means so much to be a part of this. I mean, having come from like a little girl that had all these aspirations, and then you just have a handful of people that tell you like, maybe you can't do it, and being here and saying, yes, I can, and yes, you can too, and yes to anybody, you can absolutely do it.
We flew over East Idaho and into Montana. Once the thirsty C-17 was full of fuel, we headed back to Fairchild. But the women who flew this month's Women Orientation flight say they took one message home with them.
Women can do anything. It was all women that were planning this entire thing, and even when the odds were against us, we found a way to make it work. So honestly, just saying, we got this. Yeah.
Reporting from Fairchild Air Force Base, Sydney Charles, 4 News Now.
Pretty cool, and I bet there's some young girls that are pretty inspired by watching that story. Well, Selection Sunday is this weekend. Julian will break down these Ags and the Cougs' chances in the big dance later in sports, but not everyone is a college hoops fan, so in the spirit of March Madness, the Four Paws Animal Welfare Organization wants to know who's the sleepiest bear of all. It's all part of their second annual March Napness competition. Here's a look at the bracket. Let's meet some contestants.
Well, first, let's meet Dana. She's 31 years old and was rescued from life as a dancing bear in Bulgaria. She's very playful and loves to swim, and her favorite food, obviously, fish.
This is March Madness, so these are all sleeper picks, I guess, right? This is Tyson, a 22-year-old, saved from a hunting station in Ukraine. He loves to play with the other bears, but sometimes he can get into trouble. He once stole another bear's hibernation den because he was too lazy to dig his own. Defense wins championships, is what they say.
Now I want to know about the other bears. To cast your vote on which one is the best at taking a snooze, head to the Four Paws Animal Welfare Organization's website. All right, now to talk some weather, and this is a Wildlife Wednesday, so that kind of works in nicely.
Yes, well, our sleepy bears around the inland Northwest are still sleeping, but we're going to start off with this video from Brian Neal, our own Brian Neal, one of our news managers here at 4 News Now, the only guy in the newsroom that's been here longer than me. But he shared this video from his place down around Spangle of a bald eagle that is confused by these duck decoys. He thought he was going to swoop in and bother the ducks, and he checked out every single one and seems very upset that these duck decoys were not the real thing. Good video there from Brian. Here's a great photo. Big, fat beaver in North Idaho with some frost on his face through the lens of Mark Boat. Still a lot of snow there in North Idaho and cold, but healthy looking critter. Here's a photo from Courtney Litwin of a tiny little saw-whet owl. Don't let their size fool you. Look at that look in this owl's face. They are ornery, and they will they probably take down a bear. And from Larry Crumpleman, the Sandhill Cranes near Othello. It's almost time for the Othello Sandhill Crane Festival. They stop by during their migration every year about this time. The festival, not this upcoming weekend, but the next weekend, 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. And looking forward to more pictures of Sandhill cranes over the next couple of weeks. Also looking forward to some amazing weather over the next several days. We're going to be above average starting tomorrow. This black line right here is our average high. It's in the upper 40s now. By this time next week, it will be in the lower 50s, but we're going to be in the 50s and 60s over the next several days, starting to cool down next Wednesday and bring back some cooler, wetter weather heading into next weekend. But in the short term, we're going to start warming up. We've been in a northerly flow today that brought a little snow to North Idaho and kept our temperatures cooler over the eastern portion of Washington and into North Idaho, but high pressure will be building in over the next several days. Here's Saturday evening. That is going to bring the sunshine and a warming trend. Warmest weather of the season so far. First time we've been in the 60s, and just a little earlier than average. The average date of our first 60-degree day is March 21st, so not too far earlier than what I would typically expect. Here is your planning forecast. St. Patrick's Day, Sunday, 64 and sunny, staying in the mid-60s for the first day of spring on Tuesday, and then the chance of rain back in our forecast Wednesday. Otherwise, it is just sunshine day after day, Derek.
Looks pretty awesome. Well, the Eastern Washington women punched their ticket to the big dance today.
Yeah, it was an emotional scene at the Big Sky tournament in Boise. We have the highlights of this historic win for the Eagles and where they could end up in the NCAA tournament. Next in sports.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
We're the easiest way to shop for floors, and going on now is our Carpet One Teal Tag Sale, where you can save up to $1,000 on new floors. Special financing is available.
Panhandle Carpet One Floor and Home, West Appleway Avenue.
The idea of owning a home was a really big dream of mine. It felt kind of like a pipe dream. When I think of a mortgage advisor, I think of someone who is stuffy, not approachable or friendly. But then we went to BECU and I met Lauren. She was like, this is what we're gonna do. This is how you make it happen. This is how you buy a home. And it wasn't scary or overwhelming. Watching my daughter grow up in a home that we own is amazing. My mortgage advisor changed my life and my family's life.
Take advantage of the tax credits you can, including the annual Washington State Working Families Tax Credit. You can get money back on state taxes already paid. Visit workingfamiliescredit.wa.gov.
The spring rush is on to get those early decking projects started so everyone can have a beautiful backyard this summer. And nobody has a better selection at better prices than the pros at Windsor Plywood.
Windsor Plywood.
It's the place where memories are created, where families gather to pass on traditions, or young couples celebrate their new home. At Northwest Granite, we understand the kitchen is the most important room where these moments happen, which is why our designers spend quality time in helping you find the perfect cabinets and countertops at a great price to create life moments just like this. Northwest Granite.
Lucky you. Ironstone Furniture and Fire has everything you need to furnish your home, including custom-made and one-of-a-kind furniture. Now on sale. Visit our family-owned furniture store today. Ironstone Furniture and Fire in Coeur d'Alene.
We're the easiest way to shop for floors, and going on now is our Carpet One Teal Tag Sale, where you can save up to $1,000 on new floors. Special financing is available.
Panhandle Carpet One Floor and Home, West Appleway Avenue. 4 News Now is brought to you by Move Fitness.
Well, the Pac-12 men's basketball tournament tips off today, but Washington State doesn't play until tomorrow. The Cougs are awaiting the winner of Cal and Stanford. Sports director Julian Minnesone joins us in studio. And Julian, who do you think the Cougs would rather play in this one?
I mean, both teams are pretty dangerous, especially when it comes to March, right? But the Cougars are 3-1 against the Bears and Cardinal. Don't let the record fool you, though. WSU lost to Cal in overtime back in January, and last month's game against Stanford was close until the Cougs pulled away in the second half. The good news for Washington State is they have a bye here into the quarterfinals, so they get the extra day of rest. The Cougars will be favored no matter who they play, but can't take either team lightly. Head coach Kyle Smith says Stanford and Cal each present their own challenges that can make them a tough out in tournament play.
Stanford's going to be can get really high octane, and then Cal has an individual talent that can take over a game, which happened to us when we lost to them there. So, and it feels like there's a lot of NBA talents on every team.
Cal leads Stanford 35-27 late in the first half right now. Washington State will play the winner of that game at 6 o'clock tomorrow. The Gonzaga men slipped in the latest NCAA tournament projections following last night's loss to St. Mary's. The Bulldogs are now a 7 seed, according to ESPN. The men's tournament selection show is at 3 o'clock on Sunday, and we'll have live coverage from Gonzaga and WSU here on 4 News Now. And the last time Eastern Washington women's hoops made the NCAA tournament was 1987. The second Beverly Hills Cop movie was the top-grossing film of that year, and Bon Jovi had the highest-selling album. So safe to say it's been a while. The Eagles had a chance to end that drought today. Eastern taking on Northern Arizona for the Big Sky Championship with a spot in the Big Dance on the line. The Lumberjacks got off to a quick start in this one. Leah Beatty follows the miss as Northern Arizona led by as many as 12 points in the first half. Second quarter now. Eastern got it going. Jaleesa Lawrence finds the easy bucket underneath as the Eagles cut it down to a 1-point game at halftime. To the fourth quarter we go. Game tied. Jacinta Buckley goes strong, gives Eastern Washington the lead as Buckley had 20 points and 11 rebounds. Now under a minute to play, Eagles up by 5. It's Jadia Martin. Hits one of the big shots of the season and maybe in Eastern Washington history, puts the nail in the coffin as the Eagles hang on to win their first ever Big Sky Conference Championship. You see the emotion there. 73-64 is the final score. Eastern Washington is now going to the NCAA tournament for the first time in 37 years. Derek.
All right, now I'm just thinking of Bon Jovi songs from that Slippery When Wet album. Well, the latest inflation numbers were released yesterday, and while prices ticked up slightly in February, there is some good news about the economy. CNN's Jen Sullivan breaks down what the latest numbers mean for your wallet.
The latest inflation numbers show consumers are still grappling with higher prices.
According to the latest Consumer Price Index report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, prices ticked up 0.4% in February from the month before. And over the last 12 months, prices rose by 3.2%. But the full report has both good and bad news for consumers.
You cannot look at a single data point alone. You have to look at a trend.
Dr. Brian Marks, who teaches at the University of New Haven, says the pandemic drove up inflation. But recent global events are still impacting prices, like Russia's war in Ukraine affecting oil and turmoil in the Middle East diverting shipping routes.
Shippers are paying higher premiums for insurance, and they're passing that along to the extent they can.
While these latest inflation numbers are slightly higher, when we look at the last few years, inflation is much lower than it was in February of 2022. Here's where it's hitting consumers most: housing and gas. Rent in February was about 30% above pre-pandemic levels, according to Zillow, and gas prices are up 3.8%. According to AAA, the national average cost for a gallon of regular gas as of Wednesday was $3.40. Here's some good news. Overall, the price of food did not rise, and hourly wages are rising.
Wages are actually increasing above the rate of inflation, but not by so much that it's putting that upward pressure on pricing.
For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
All right, here's a look at ABC's primetime lineup as we head into a final break.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
So what do you think about these? We like this one.
Yeah, we love that.
When it's time for an update or complete remodel, Rebath is with you every step of the way.
We're going to take everything down to the
From design and products to removal and installation, we handle the entire process to create a beautiful and functional bathroom for whatever your life needs.
Honey, you were right. Turned out.
Rebath, with you every step of the way. Call us or visit rebath.com and save $1,500 off your complete bathroom remodel.
This month, CalCars is going crazy with mad savings on the biggest selection of tricked-out trucks and sporty SUVs.
We've aggressively priced these rigs so low that this month we're offering a price match guarantee, which means if you find the same type of vehicle anywhere else for less, we will match it, guaranteed.
And during this madness of savings, $40 down is all you need.
It's go time this week at Cal.
Grow your love for the outdoors at the 62nd Annual Bighorn Show, March 14th to 17th at the Spokane County Fairgrounds, presented by Lithia Motors. There's something for everyone in the family at the Bighorn Show. Visit and shop hundreds of vendors and exhibitors. Check out the Trophy Territory Annual Exhibition. Go fishing with the kids at Les Schwab Fishing World. Enjoy live music. You will find it all at this year's Bighorn Show. This event is produced by Inland Northwest Wildlife Council. Big thanks to Brett's RV and Marine, Les Schwab, and many more. Get your tickets and more details at bighornshow.com.
Introducing permanent year-round outdoor lighting. Holiday heating, cooling, and electric.
Welcome to Move Fitness.
Let's go. I really got the feeling today that everything is going my way. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Sign up now with no enrollment fee. Move Fitness.
Let's go.
4 News Now is brought to you by Fairway Floor.
Planning forecast. Plan for sunglasses and a lighter jacket at first. Then you could probably ditch the jacket this weekend. Temperatures in the 60s. Those are airport temperatures. If you're going to be in downtown Spokane, it's going to be even warmer.
Yeah, so great. If you're going to the St. Patrick's Day Parade, the Velocity Game, or what have you, we'll see you tonight at 11.